Yeah,
Don't expect it.
Right.
And that is a perfect transition to talking about fad diets. That is my favorite. We've discussed this so much off the air. I am so glad we're able to talk about it on here because
right now, I just want to say, no, I need to hear it.
It's crazy, man, because this goes. Remember, we were talking about social media, the impact of social media. You brought it up earlier too, and it's like, hey, yeah, I look great, and then I did this because I did this diet, right?
Right.
That's what you see everywhere.
Yeah.
People are like, I have to eat like him or her because I want to look like them.
Right.
And then it's like, no. That is just how you make that person become as successful as it did. Because there's a lot of these people. What people don't understand is all these models and everything, they shred down like we do for a show prep.
Yeah.
And then they take hundreds of pictures.
Right. They drop water. It's a very depleted and unhealthy state.
Yes. And then they take those pictures and they use those pictures for the promotion.
Absolutely.
Of what they did to get there. And I guarantee you, there's a whole side of it with the PED use we're going to keep out.
Yeah.
But there's a whole, thing about nutrition that's just so concerning because you think about keto diet, people are talking about carnivore diet right now. It's a big thing. Look, if you enjoy it, fine, right? Like I'm vegetarian, and even I am always like, okay, if you're trying to push this vegan agenda, I'm against any type of agenda because there is no perfect diet. The best diet is the one that works for you. Mm-hmm. If you enjoy it, fine. But you don't have to follow one particular person or their diet to achieve that goal, right? Like, you don't need to have chicken, broccoli, and rice every meal to become whatever you're trying to become, because that's what they push on social media. And now you have people like, and I really wanted to just bring this up, you have people like Liver King, right? I call him, he's the biggest joke on the internet, but it's because he's also one of the biggest businessmen on the internet now, because he created a following of uneducated people. He's got a great physique. And then he's out there saying, I got it because I eat raw meat, raw liver, and all that stuff. And it's like,
it's absurd.
And then there are people that genuinely believe that. And there are people that genuinely will try that and probably will end up with E. coli or some type of poisoning at one point. Yeah.
Where's their vitamin C? There are people who have gotten scurvy from the carnivore diet because where's their vitamin C?
Bro, he's a businessman and a great businessman because it worked.
And amazing. No, all news is good news, right?
Yep.
It's like the Kanye style, right?
Yep. It's absurd to me that people are so easily captured by all because they want a shortcut to look like something.
Yeah, and that's all it is.
They don't want to hear...
Oh, if I just liver in like cow testicles and stuff, like, and sweep on a wooden plank, right? Do all my exercises outside, then I'm gonna look like him. Yeah. In a matter of months, right?
Yeah.
I wish.
Not how it works.
I'll do it if that's what it takes. I'll do it. He looks great. I'm not gonna lie. He looks awesome.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because even with the carnivore diet, and it's like these people, they're like, oh, eat organic meat and all that. I'm like, listen, if you're not getting your food from your backyard, it's all processed. And what I mean by that is, you may say that, that beef is from whatever, but what do you think they fed to that animal?
Right. They pay good money for those organic scamps. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a whole politicalized industry. It's crazy, the whole organic industry, because some of that stuff is not much different from the cheaper stuff. They just pay good money for that label.
Right. No, they really do, and it's crazy because everyone's trying to live this prehistoric lifestyle where it's like, oh, you gotta hunt for your food, and that's fine if that's your hobby. Great.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, are we gonna throw dirt in our wounds too instead of taking antibiotics if we get an infection? Like, come on.
Listen, bro. Like, it's like, at that time we hunted.
Yeah.
We were originally
It made sense then.
gatherers,
Right.
to begin with.
Right.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
gatherers, and then because we couldn't find enough resources, we became hunters.
Right. And then we started domesticating it.
Then we started domesticating. There's a whole evolution to it. You can't just be like, all right, want to live prehistoric. It means, you got to do this. And
meat was scarce. Like, they didn't go out and get a saber-toothed tiger on their spear every day, or woolly mammoth, whatever they hunted back then.
Yeah.
But, maybe that was before cavemen. I don't know. But meat was scarce, though. It was mostly gathering.
yeah.
Cool. We got some meat.
Yeah.
First time in 2 weeks. Let's have a huge
Maybe
party
1
and
month.
dance naked by the fire.
I mean, you
I still do it.
I mean, you still kind of see that around the world, and especially in some parts of Africa, there's still hunters and gatherer tribes there.
And it's beautiful.
And that's the thing. It's like, I mentioned I'm a vegetarian. That's one of the things I had to really kind of pay attention to, because it was like everyone, and it sucks because like the vegan community, and I'm not talking about the entire community, I'm talking about the people that are just pushing it on everyone.
Right.
The same way the meat industry is pushing it on everyone. I don't agree with either side.
Yeah.
And
a financial agenda, probably.
Yeah.
Yes, the Impossible Burger is not very healthy for you.
It's not, but if you enjoy it and you get your nutrition, it's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I eat it. I eat that.
Yeah, for 2 years I went pescatarian myself, so I experienced it for a while.
That's all right.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, people are so quick to be like, you're vegetarian? How do you, like, you don't eat meat? Like, how do you get your protein and everything? And I'm like, dude, you have the same enzymes in you.
Yeah.
Your enzymes do not go, oh man, Andrew ate chicken today.
Right.
Let's go ahead and put that here. That's going to be extra protein. Now, there are vegan and vegetarian foods that may not have full complete protein.
Right. The amino acid profile may be different.
Yes. But that doesn't mean there are no foods like that have it all, because there are.
Right.
There are. Yeah.
If you eat.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't sure. Could you explain that to me a little bit further? The amino acids.
So let's kind of start from the top, as in we're putting food into our mouth, right? So we put that food into our mouth. It's a protein. Okay. What is a protein? Okay, a protein is a bunch of amino acids linked together and forming some complex structure that now we call a protein, right? When we put that food into our mouth, we can't just absorb this complex structure. It's going to go through our digestive system and get broken down into all these amino acids, okay, and then get absorbed into our bloodstream. So those amino acids, those building blocks, getting all cut up, we're taking the Legos apart, and we're absorbing the Lego pieces, okay? Your body doesn't know if those Lego pieces are coming from tofu, if they're coming from beef. They're just the same Lego pieces. Now, amino acids, right? So now what that profile is, if we're talking about meats, those are always going to have all of your essential amino acids in them, the ones that your body can't produce. There's non-essential ones where we can kind of switch one thing into another thing, like when you're a kid and you're missing the Lego piece, you kind of put like two of them together to kind of make the one, but there's some pieces that you can't really mimic, and you're missing it and you're like, oh crap, I can't complete the set. So those are your essential amino acids. Now, meats all carry that like full essential amino acid thing. Not all plant proteins are full of essential amino acids. However, it doesn't matter because all those amino acids are just pooled into your blood from everything you've eaten. So if you're eating complementary protein sources, that's where the classic like rice and beans comes into play. Then when all those amino acids get pooled together, it is a complete protein source.
And then and
does
like
that make sense?
No, it does. Thank you very much.
And like he said, not all plant proteins, but the one that are generally complete are the soy ones. The soy protein is generally complete.
Right.
Now the stigmatization behind that is, man, if you eat soy, your estrogen levels go up. All right, let's discuss that.
Yeah, please.
Phytoestrogen.
It's kind of whack.
phytoestrogen and estrogen are as different as comparing to the look of an atom to the look of a galaxy, right? Because they look similar and everything, but then there are two completely different things.
Right.
Phytoestrogen is the plant estrogen. However, for that to be as effective as an estrogen, or the hormone, you would need so much. You would need to be probably eating, sleeping, and drinking bathing in soy to be able to get to that level. And and I know they always talk about, because as I mentioned, I'm vegetarian and I had to do all the research by myself because there were a lot of people, especially when I first started, where they were like, vegetarian doesn't do this, doesn't do that. And then I had to really do, I'm like, okay, where are they getting this hormone imbalance from? Where are they getting this soy increases estrogen levels? It is a story about some guy that was in the military. And mind you, this is one research in the entire life plan that's just been passed down, and people have been just using it as a reference out of the blue, right? Because they heard about it. This is one dude who was literally drinking soy protein, or I don't know if it was soy milk or something, literally every meal and every snack. Like, that was his thing. Like we were talking about, he was bathing in it.
Yeah. Forget the Old Spice. Let's just use soy.
Yeah. and he practically lived on it. And yes, when you have too much of anything,
right,
your body is going to reject it.
Yeah.
Because your body's not meant to adapt, but if you overload it, it's going to reject it. And so that's exactly what happened to him. He ended up getting a higher, estrogen count and all that.
Yeah.
And so it's people really need to put away this entire mentality of we should only be eating a certain thing. We should only be doing this. Right. You should be doing that. Yeah. Don't eat that, because
the dogma of it.
Yeah, and the thing is, we were talking about the industries. The meat industry, believe it or not, is one of the biggest industries in the U.S., right? Up there with tobacco.
Yeah.
And so for them to do stigmatization of like vegetarian foods, of course, why not? Because they're making so much profit.
Yeah.
Right.
So my point is not to push you and be like, try vegan food, try vegetarian food. Yeah. My whole purpose is eat what you want, but be educated about it overall.